My dear brothers and sisters, there's this beautiful story of Naaman, who was a very, very prominent, powerful head of the Syrian army, a great leader, a very famous man, a very influential man, a great hero. But sad part is that he had leprosy, a dreaded disease, a prominent and a public figure where he is discovered that he has leprosy, and it is a nagging disease, a very nagging disease. First important thing that we have to learn today is every one of us have some form of leprosy, some form of nagging disease in us. No matter how great you are, no matter how great I am, there is this one dreaded disease that is there as our weaknesses, and that is a nagging one that may be a thorn in the flesh, that may be troubling you. How we love to get rid of this. The second important aspect that we see the Naaman is the very thing that is troubling him is that which God uses. The very thing that is troubling me and you, that weakness, God is making use of this so that you may be of use for Him. That is how your weakness makes you great. The third important aspect that we see is when you want to be really healed of your weaknesses, you need to be humbled. And how humble? Naaman is a great example. He had to suffer this nagging disease of leprosy. A young girl comes and says, there is a great prophet, Elisha. You go to him and you will be healed. He was ashamed, a young girl coming and telling me. But he humbled himself. And then he wants to see this man, Elisha. And he wants to go and find out. So again he is humiliated. Elisha has to come to meet him because he's great. But now he humbles himself and he wants to go to meet Elisha. But Prophet Elisha says, he sends another man and he sends a messenger and says, go tell Naaman that he has to go and dip himself in the river 7 times and he will be cured. And this messenger, an ordinary man, comes to this great man Naaman and says, listen, this is what Prophet Elisha said. Prophet Elisha is not going to come. I thought Prophet Elisha would come and call upon Yahweh and God Yahweh would cure me and I would see God Yahweh. But he's sending you as a messenger to tell me to go and be dipped in the river. Again he humbles himself and he says, okay. And then, to be further humiliated, there are beautiful rivers in that place. But he tells him to go to the smallest dirty river and get immersed 7 times. Then again he gets humiliated. Being a very prominent public figure, he goes into that river. He humbles himself, and therefore you find he is healed and he gets the skin of a young child, a tender skin. That is the power of Yahweh. And therefore you see, Naaman thought Elisha would come, but he humbled himself and he was cured in the rivers, and therefore he is healed because of his humility. You and I can also be healed only if we are humble to that core, because spiritual healing is only through humility. What is your leprosy now? What is that which is nagging you now? What is that thorn in the flesh in you? So that you come humbly before the Lord to be cured and receive that spiritual healing. Naaman thanked God And therefore, he said, I'm ready to do anything because your God, Yahweh, is greater than any other. You and I should also acknowledge when the Lord does something that he has done it because he is the most powerful God. When we look at this part, we come to the gospel reading, we see not just one leper, 10 lepers coming to Jesus and saying, have mercy on us. Now they also humble themselves. They are excluded. They have to live outside the town, in the caves, close their mouth, don't show their face and their hands, and therefore they had to live an exclusive life. But when they come before the Lord with that faith, have mercy on me. And the Lord just knows that these people have come for help in faith. It happened, my dear friends, a rabbi asked the prophet, where shall I find my Messiah? And the prophet answered, you will find the Messiah outside the town. What is he doing outside the town? And the prophet said, he is changing their bandages. And this is exactly what you and I are also doing today, because Jesus has done this for us. Jesus keeps doing it, and today he is not here. You and I are his hands to change the bandages of each other. That is the humility that you and I will have. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, these our lepers did more than anything is to have that faith. And when they had that little faith, Jesus does something more. He has a chat with them. Not only saying, just go yourself and show yourself to the priest. When that leper comes back, he has a chat with him. You are healed. What about the 9? Where are they? And therefore, Jesus has a chat with you when you come in thanksgiving to the Lord. That is why God has 2 homes. He has 2 homes, one in heaven and the other one is in a grateful heart, is in a thankful heart. His home is in a grateful heart. Therefore, if you are grateful to all that God has done to you, he dwells in you. That is why Jesus comes to that foreigner Samaritan and says, where are there the 9? Can't I dwell in their hearts? So you see, my dear friends, the skin deep healing that Jesus does for Naaman and the 10 lepers is a significant one to show that you and I should be thankful and grateful. So let us see what happened to the 10 lepers. So 1 out of 10 comes back to give thanks. In the year 1960, the churches were full. Sunday masses would be packed. But today, 1/10 people come for mass on Sundays to fulfill their obligation. Are you coming with a thankful heart? Because mass, the Eucharist, is nothing but to give thanks. To be a person with a gratitude heart to show what the Lord has done for me, I am come back. Therefore today, to get back people to mass, we first need to face our own lack of gratitude, because Eucharist is an act of thanksgiving. We know, my dear friends, that our tendency is that we take God for granted. He will do it for us. But where is your act of thanksgiving? Therefore, you must educate people who are not coming for Sunday masses that you must be thankful for all that he has done for the 7 days. Come on the 7th day and thank him in the Eucharist so that you have Jesus dwelling in your heart. It is not like this, like the woman who came and said to a sailor who saved her son from drowning. This woman comes searching for the sailor who saved her son who was drowning and said, "Are you the man who saved my son?" "Yes, indeed, I was the one. He was in the storm. He was drowning. I saved him." The woman next says, "You saved my son, but where is his hat? He was wearing a hat. Where is his hat?" This is our attitude of gratefulness. Our gratitude is like this. Remember, my dear friends, that you and I have to play a role where we see that the rightful act done by you to somebody, you need not wait for a thank you, because you know that you have done it with a sincere heart. Not like this woman who comes searching not for her son's man who saved, but for a hat which was lost. Therefore, let us always be grateful and thankful for the Lord to bring you for this Mass. Be thankful for the Lord who is going to bring you back next Sunday for this Eucharist. Amen. Let us all stand for the creed.